Hey guys, welcome to this video on how to install a bass knob or momentary switch into your Q50/Q60. Before we get into this, slight disclaimer, you will be modifying not only your button but also your panel that the button's going to mount to. So if you have a lease or something that you might need to go back to stock later, I suggest you go to eBay, search for Q50 traction control switch. You can find the panel from anywhere from $10 to $30. And you can easily keep your OEM one and go back to stock if need be. So keep that in mind before we get into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. And also note, I'll be putting a link in the description to all the parts, including the bass knob that I use, if you'd like. So without further ado, let's get started. So we first want to begin by removing the plastic panel to the left. And then for this panel, there's no screws holding this in. So all you really need to do is just be gentle but firm and pull down. Start with the left side and then move on to the right. As you can see, I struggled a little bit here in the video, but as you can see, just a slight tug that comes down. I made sure that there was no bolts or anything holding this panel up. And once I was able to figure that out, I then was able to move to the right side. I know you can't see it too well in the light here, but comes right off. So now that we have that panel disconnected, where we can now access the back of the panel that we're going to be removing, take notice of that white button. We're going to first remove that. If you look to the right side of that button, there will be a clip tab that you can push in and then you can pull up, and that should come right out. Next, there are 3 Phillips head screws that I'll circle here on screen. The bottom one is blocked, but they're there. I suggest you use a small screwdriver. If you try to use too long, it's going to hit the bottom of your probably steering wheel or whatever. So guys, so now that we have the panel outside of the car, the next thing we're going to be working on is actually removing that middle blank switch that you see pictured here. And in order to do that, we're going to be using a flathead screwdriver. And be careful. Obviously, that chrome at the bottom can be peeled off, so you just want to be real gentle and shimmy it almost. Don't do that. Do as I say, not as I do. So now that we've got that switch off, you can clearly see the motherboard that helps to control the traction control and trunk release button is actually behind our blank switch, which is why I think most people who try this, they just give up at this point because they can't get out the back of it. So we're going to have to work around it. So as you can see here, I have a panel that I've already modified. Alright guys, so now I wanted to talk about what buttons or bass knobs will actually fit inside this panel. In my hand right now is a LC1 bass knob. This is very common for many audio builds. It's a universal knob, but as you can see, it does not fit in our panel. And what I figured out, guys, is that pretty much anything over ½ an inch in width will not fit in this panel without having to modify it extensively. So what I found is try to make sure it is ½ an inch or less. As you can see, this is a JL RLC knob, and this comes in at literally, it is right there at ½ an inch, and it barely fits this application. So if you guys want to follow my lead and do this, I can confirm that this works, but maybe you guys in the comments can let me know if you've tried other remotes or bass knobs and see if it fit the panel. So next up, guys, I want to talk about actually modifying the blank switch itself. So here on the left, we have how it's going to look when you take it out, and then on the right is my modified version. As you can tell, you're going to have to shave that piece. You're going to have to drill it out and then ply it, cut it, whatever you have at your disposal to get a nice clean cut, because you're going to have to cut all that away in order for your knob to fit. I personally use these pairs of pliers. It's plastic. It's really not hard to break it. Just obviously be careful. You don't want to damage the front of the switch. For a knob, you're actually going to have to remove the little clips on the side as well if you want a seamless integration. I unfortunately didn't capture this part on camera, but even despite cutting all of that, your switch will still fit snugly in. So guys, I actually broke my first RLC1 knob that I got, so here is my second go around. You can actually see me disassemble it. Like I said, the RLC knob fits, but this is how it comes out of the box. It has this protective box on it that we actually have to remove. It will not fit with the stock box that it comes on. So you have to take it out. It's just 2 Phillips heads on the back, and then you remove the washer and nut from the front, and that will allow you to take that protective cover off. And now we have our exposed knob. Obviously, be careful when you're dealing with this. You want to make sure you don't bend any pins or anything. So now, guys, we have our modified blank switch. As you can see, I've cut the clips, I've cut the back, and it still fits in nice and swell, guys. So as you can see, we had to cut a very large hole in the bottom, and this is going to be where our wire is going to gut through. But also, I want you guys to see the RLC1 remote does not come detached. Like it looks like it does, but they don't detach from each other. That box will not fit in. But watch this, we can actually fish the knob through and not have to disconnect anything at all. So it takes a little bit of rigging, guys. You can see from the video it's not perfect, but all we're trying to do is get it in there, get it centered, and we want to pull it through, which I'm trying to do with all of my strength. All right, perfect. So we got it through, guys, and now we can install it into our blank switch. So just put the switch over the knob, and then we'll put our little protective washer, and then we'll also then get our nut. If I can get this centered, sorry about that, washer wasn't going on straight. Make sure it's all centered up, and then we can put our nut on and tighten her down. We'll finish tightening it. I'll probably do it off camera, but I believe it's a 12mm wrench to give it a few turns just to make sure it's nice and tight. It won't move at all. And then from here, guys, we can just push the panel back in. Obviously, as you can tell, it takes a little bit of moving left and right to get it to fit just right. As I said, being at just ½ an inch makes it a very tight fit. But as you can tell, it is back on. We got full range of motion, and we can put our knob back on. Look at that, guys. It looks awesome already. So we're ready to go put this back in the car, guys. So obviously, just when we go put it back in on our panel, we just need those 3 Phillips screws, and we just push the panels back on. And as you can see, here's the final product, guys. I think it looks awesome. Very OEM plus. All of our full range of motion. Our buttons still work. Trunk still opens. Our traction light still turns off. So overall, a great little piece. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns. I'll do my best to answer all I can. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Please feel free to leave me any feedback. And hey, have a great day, you guys. Good luck.